And so I've got a task force within the Domestic Policy Council in the West Wing of the White House that is working with groups both in the pro-choice camp and in the pro-life camp to see if we can arrive at some consensus on that. Now, the Freedom of Choice Act is not my highest legislative priority. I believe that women should have the right to choose, but I think that the most important thing we can do to tamp down some of the anger surrounding this issue is to focus on those areas that we can agree on, and that's where I'm going to focus. Jeff Zelwyn.
Thank you, Mr. President. During these first 100 days, what has surprised you the most about this office, enchanted you the most about serving in this office, humbled you the most, and troubled you the most?
Let me write this down.
Surprised, troubled.
I've got, what was the first one?
Surprised, troubled, enchanted,
and
humbled.
And what was the last one?
Humbled. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Surprised. I am surprised compared to where I started when it was first announced for this race by the number of critical issues that appear to be coming to a head all at the same time. You know, when I first started this race, Iraq was a central issue, but the economy appeared on the surface to still be relatively strong. There were underlying problems that I was seeing with health care for families and our education system and college affordability and so forth, but obviously I didn't anticipate the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And so, you know, the typical president, I think, has 2 or 3 big problems. We've got 7 or 8 big problems. And so we've had to move very quickly. And I'm very proud of my team for the fact that we've been able to keep our commitments to the American people to bring about change, while at the same time managing a whole host of issues that had come up that weren't necessarily envisioned a year and a half ago. Troubled. I'd say less troubled, but you know, sobered by the fact that change in Washington comes slow. That there is still a certain quotient of political posturing and bickering that takes place even when we're in the middle of really big crises. I would like to think that everybody would say, you know what, let's take a time out on some of the political games, focus our attention for
I'm just sitting here watching the 100 days of Obama in the office. As you can hear, it's live on YouTube, the White House channel, youtube.com/White-House. And it's really good. I'm enjoying it.
I will tell you that.
So yeah, that's what's going on. If you wondered.
When
your boy Aimeé. I mean, it's still. Never mind. I stop. But yeah. My man is cool too. There's a video under the live one that
but I am
him playing basketball with some Tim, the Huskies. I don't even know who they are, but Lady Huskies. But it's really nice. And I'm really enjoying the video. I mean, the live feed and all the technology by the way. It's just cool.
Do so without complaint.
Peace.
Fiercely loyal to this country, and you know, the more I interact with our servicemen and women, from the top brass down to the lowliest private. I'm grateful to them. Humbled by the fact that the presidency is extraordinarily powerful, but we are just part of a much broader tapestry of American life, and there are a lot of different power centers. And so I can't just press a button and suddenly have the bankers do exactly what I want. Or turn on a switch and suddenly, Congress falls in line. And so, what you do is to make your best arguments, listen hard to what other people have to say, and coax folks in the right direction. This metaphor has been used before, but the ship of state is an ocean liner, it's not a speedboat. And so the way we are constantly thinking about this issue, of how to bring about the changes that the American people need, is to say, if we can move this big battleship a few degrees in a different direction, you may not see all the consequences of that change a week from now or 3 months from now, but 10 years from now or 20 years from now, our kids will be able to look back and say, that was when we started getting serious about clean energy. That's when healthcare started to become more efficient and affordable. That's when we became serious about raising our standards in education. And so I have a much longer time horizon than I think you do when you're a candidate, or if you're listening, I think, to the media reportage on a day-to-day basis. And I'm humbled last by the American people who have shown extraordinary patience, and I think a recognition that we're not going to solve all these problems overnight. Okay. Board Montenegro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, when you met with the Hispanic caucus a few weeks ago, reports came out that the White House was planning to have a forum to talk about immigration and bring it to the forefront. Going forward, my question is, what is your strategy to try to have immigration reform, and are you still on the same timetable to have it accomplished in the first year of your presidency? And also, I'd like to know if you're going to reach out to Senator John McCain, who is Republican and in the past has favored immigration reform.
Well, we reach out to Senator McCain on a whole host of issues. He has been a leader on immigration reform. I think he has had the right position on immigration reform, and I would love to partner with him and others on what is going to be a critical issue. We've also worked with Senator McCain on what I think is a terrific piece of legislation that he and Carl Levin have put together.
I'm an immigrant, for God's sake. Saying no, but yeah.
Together around procurement reform.
We
want that moved, and we're going to be working hard with them to get that accomplished. What I told the Congressional Hispanic Caucus is exactly what I said the very next day in a town hall meeting, and what I will continue to say publicly, and that is, we want to move this process. We can't continue with a broken immigration system. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for American workers. It's dangerous for Mexican would-be workers who are trying to cross a dangerous border. It is putting a strain on border communities who oftentimes have to deal with a host of undocumented workers, and it keeps those undocumented workers in the shadows, which means they can be exploited at the same time as they're depressing U.S. wages. So what I hope to happen is that we're able to convene a working group, working with key legislators like Luis Gutierrez and Nidia Vasquez and others,